So welcome, you join us as we watch you going around the track here at the Autodromo Maggiore, it doesn't really matter how we pronounce it. I'm going to call it Maggiore because it sounds about right. Hey, it works for me. Oh yeah, the World Finals happening, but why would you be watching the World Finals when you'd be watching this? It's better in every way. So yeah, here we are then, round 5 here in Super Formula, and as the championship stands, we have Raiden leading 5 points clear of Fubuki, with Vitamin G not too far behind. It's all very much on the line here in these next couple of races. Round 5, this is also the halfway point of the season, obviously. Well, we've got a long season ahead of us, 10 races, and so here we are. Just give me a second, I'm just showering the string around because, you know, got advertisers then. So that is what we're doing. We'll just whack it in there. Actually, hang on a minute. Oh, whatnot. So yeah, here we go. Ready to go racing. We've got 10 cars at the moment on the track. Race T has joined us. Walter has also joined us, the team that didn't show up at all last time. This time it's Toyota that are showing up along with Kuba. So as far as the races we've got going on then, so here we go. We've got Foxy who can just sub one of them. Foxy, who is actually racing, he will just stub one of the drivers. I don't know which one. I mean, we ask you, so Hunty or right and lad, or we'll just whack him on one of the Toyotas. There you go. So Foxy is officially subbing the Toyota, unless it's stated elsewhere that he's subbing someone else. There's no SF substitute. So Hubi is subbing in for Ruti. Foxy could sub in for one of the other drivers that isn't here, which we'll just say he's subbing Hunter. And there you go, so that's going to be our grid, along with the usuals: Lorenzi, Harbour Fraggins, Luckman, Alilar, the Northmen championship leaders. They're going to want to continue their championship lead over the Red Bull team. Walter, 6th place, 7th place, Night Honor, 8th place, Race T, 9th place, Vitamin at the moment, 10th Red, and 11th is Fubuki. Shall we have a look at the calendar and what tracks wait for us beyond this race? It's a very, very exciting ordeal, because do you know what is next week? Because we got away from that horrible noise. Do you know what track is next week? It is indeed the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. That's going to be one very much to get excited for, but we're not there yet. We're here now with the Autodromo Maggiore. So there we go. So yeah, here we are then. Maggiore ready to rumble here for this race. You just ride on board the Voltaire car of Voltaire. No, we're not. We're actually going to switch to Night Donna now. Switching it around a bit. Practice. Qualifying should be beginning soon. Well, on the track that it isn't me. They are. Just gonna miss. It says Wally ? Question mark. So then, here we go. Bobo Fraggins. He's hasn't really had the most ideal season so far. I mean, struggled to get some points early on. He did get some points in Autopolis He's got points at the board now, but can he continue to develop his points tally and improve it? I mean, his teammate is Lorenzi, and he's been a pretty decent season. Lorenzi's been having a pretty decent season. He got a win last time out. He did win the race. As Raiden didn't win the race, the stuck check is about to be underway. But yeah, so Lorenzi won last time. Raiden didn't, despite Raiden and Lorenzi battling it out for the win with Wittmann there or thereabouts. But in the end, Raiden was onwards, threw the race away. He bottled it himself, and it was the second race in a row that he did so. Fubuki taking the win in Bathurst, but yet again Raiden looked more comfortable to win in Bathurst than he did in Autoplus, so it's all on the line then. This championship is about to get heated up, ready to rumble here in the Super Formula Series. We join halfway through the season. And for the stuck check, let's make sure no one is stuck on the grid, because that's the last thing we want. So everyone's ready to go. And so far it is looking good. Bit of wheel spin, a lot of wheel spin in the background now. Well, I mean, everyone looks to have gotten away well. And there's the usual chaos ensuing. Everyone looks to have gone up the line. 11 cars with us today. And so there we go. That's the numbers drop down. And as you can see, we have an 18 lap race ahead of us. Usual rules apply with soft, medium and hard. The driver must use at least 2 of the 3 available compounds. Could be subject to change for season 4, but you never know. We're not at season 4 yet, so we'll just hold on for that at the moment. The race has been cancelled and qualifying begins now. What tyres the driver to charge out immediately? That is Wittmann G. He's our first driver out onto the track on the soft tyres. About fragging on the soft, race on the softs. We'll be actually passing him out there on the soft with Wittmann. So basically, everyone will set their time on the softs. But those that aren't on the softs are likely better who's going to pit in, and will probably be doing so because they want to start on a different set of tyres. They don't have the softs aren't the most viable option. As for how the tyre wear will be, so we've got Walter, he'll look to start on the mediums, as will Fubuki, Nike Connor, and I believe that will be everyone. The rest of them, some might choose to start on the softs, all power to them, but it's likely that they'll be coming out their softs to change up to different set of tyres. This is just to get them there on the outlap, just to flight rounds. We've got the full Maggiore circuit, obviously centre of it. It can be changed around to your will if you want to do a shorter version of the track, but we're going a whole hog. It's a great track, this one, I must admit. Elevation change is incredible, some good corners. The key overtaking spots are turn 1, turn 5, and turn 11. Turn 1, we all know what that is. Turn 5 is at the bottom. You can round down at the bottom, and that's that. And it seems to be a right cluster going on. Just in the background, Zubi and Hobo and Luckman are all shuffling around for position here. In this final sector, we're pretty much constant turning. I can't really see much overtakes action happening here. And he just rides on board now with Wittmann. He launches himself out the final corner, a little bit on the grass, a little bit too close to the barrier there. That can easily taken away from us. He starts the lap now, hard on the brakes into the first corner, brings it through into the second corner. So if you do get past in the first corner, you can fight back in the second corner. It's like obviously a lot of action for this opening gambit of corners, maybe even some chaos. The beginning round, very technical, very 90-degree sort of slower speed corners. Then you finally, for the first time in the lap, let it get launch again, turning in whilst braking. You can see how he's very wide, swoops in, kisses the apex, lets the car roll out wide, then picks the path of loop resistance up the hill, under the sign, and into the S section. Bit of braking on entry, rolling through the first part. You can see how he takes this one. Is it flat? Very brave stuff from Wittmann. He's putting all his faith in the fact that the car will turn, and it has done. That is the downforce that he's put his faith in, just keeping his foot to the floor through that. Hard on the brakes at late as possible. 50 minute belt. This is going to be another crucial overtake spot, and can very easily go wrong here out the corner. You've now got the double, the left-right, sort of high-speed chicane type thing. Nice line, trying to minimise the steering angle as much as you can in this final sector, where the car is just constantly turning, and it really tests the change of direction. This will be just a sort of single file, and you want to make sure you line it up perfectly into the final corner. A decent lap from Wittmann, and the time that they're all going to be chasing now as he comes around the final corner, accelerating hard and up to the line. The times they will be chasing is a 36.7, Hoobie in response 36.9. How about Fraggins, what does he cross the line with? A 39.8. Wittmann is now just starting off. For Buki, he's also, I believe, on an outlap. And if he is not, it's a very slow time. Was indeed an outlap. Tay, however, goes third place, 36.9 from him. Nice. Donna crosses the line of 48.1, so a bit of a slower time from him. Raiden goes up to the provisional pole position there on the 35.4, 1.3 seconds clear of Wittmann, and it's the sort of thing we'd expect from Raiden and his just rapid pace in qualifying. We've got Walter, then Foxy as well. Walter, Foxy, Night Bonner for Buki. Luckman haven't set a time yet, but Luckman looks to get a bit of traffic as he comes through the S's. The dirty air is going to be at full force here, and that's going to cost him a little bit of time. It might give him a bit of a slipstream heading into the hairpin at turn 11. Out of turn 10, now he charges down. Will it be a slipstream? That's what it's going to look like. I don't know how much this has benefited him, but it looks like he's being held up slightly there by Herber. So that is going to cost Luckman time. His teammates coming around now, second in the championship, only 5 points off Raiden. It is very possible. Fubuki hasn't had the cleanest of races. Thank you, Nick, for leaving a like. Fubuki's races recently haven't been the most clean. He's often found himself not facing the right direction early on, and it seems to cost him. But I mean, he does manage to fight his way back up from Bathurst. He spun lap 1 on the first corner, fought his way back to the victory there. So he's a very strong driver as Luckman pits in again, having not set a lap time yet. For Buki, does he cross the line as Lorenzi gets himself onto the front row of the grid? Here comes Fubuki up to the line. He does set a time, only goes P6, so a bit of a disappointing lap from Fubuki, as is that Hobart Fraggins coming out just ahead of him now. Snipe Donna crosses the line, down in 7th, Walter in 8th place, Hobart Fraggins is dropped down to 9th. Lookman and Foxy haven't set a time yet, Foxy's starting a lap, so is Lookman, but we're already halfway into qualifying. They're running out of time, but it is Raiden on pole with Lorenzi second. These two have been sharing the front row more than any other driver pairing this season on that front row. In fact, I think they've been on the front row at every race this season. 2 mixed results though in that case. Actually, on Bathurst wasn't a front row, a Lorenzi Raiden front row, but with Wittmann and Hoobie, who is Raiden's teammate, replacing Ruti for this one, a very strong lineup from them two. Ruti's season hasn't been the most ideal, to be honest with you. I'm sure he's going to want to score more points when he returns, but we could have a very close fight for Racer Tay. He's very close up there of getting involved, as is Fubuki. So we say Fubuki and Night Donna in 6th and 7th, been disappointed. But he's still very competitive in that area from like 3rd or 6th to 2nd, sorry, to 6th. It's quite close to each other, although Wittmann a bit of a ways away from that of Lorenzi. We'll see who's anyone coming to the end of a lap. Lorenzi's on an out lap. Foxy's finishing his first lap as he comes toward the end into the final sector now. We're catching the back end of his first qualifying lap that he's done, despite it being pretty much 7 minutes into qualifying. So he's running a bit low on time. It's just right on board with Foxy through this final sector into the final corner. How does he take the final corner? Braking deep. He does a bit, revving it up. That was quite the nice line from Foxy. Allowed him plenty of room to accelerate hard away. And where's this place him? He puts him 8th place out of Walter and out of Hobble Fraggins. Luckman is now just beginning a lap, and he's running very much out of time there. Lorenzi's finishing an out lap, so it'll be interesting to see what he can deliver. But we've got Viv and G now as he head through the S section in the middle of the lap. Left, right, left, right. It's constantly changing direction, and it's a really fun section to take at such high speeds, and then the limit that they are on in qualifying, not wanting obviously to go over the limit. Hoobie in 4th place, he's right on the back. And then we have Razor Tay, who is incredibly close to Hoobie and getting onto the second row. He's on himself on the 10th out of Fubuki, who himself is on the 2/10 out of Night Donna. Bit of traffic there for Fubuki and for Raiden and for Night Donna actually. And one of the Walter cars, well, Walter, he's on an outlap himself, so hasn't really. It's a bit of a kerfuffle going on there, as we see now. Here comes Luckman heading around into the final sector. He begins the final sector on his only lap, running a little bit across the curb there, but I mean, we're lenient on the penalties in this series. Doesn't mean you can just cut the track though. Here we go, into the final corner, accelerating hard on the exit. Is this going to be enough for Luckman? Where does this put him? The season's been a bit away from his teammate, but he's still been quite up there. And it puts him P4, and out of nowhere on the second row of that grid, beating out Wittmann and beating out Racete. Hubi getting on the front row as well, alongside his teammate for this one. Lorenzi there then, is chasing down the pole position time and runs slightly wide toward the end of the lap, just as he passes Night Donner, so that's not going to be the fastest way around that. Racete does get on that for 4th place now. Luckman, who looks to have just gone one lap, and then, do you know what, I'm done with that. Wittmann in 5th place, 6th place now for Buki, the championship contender, down in P6 compared to his championship rival Raiden, who has gone off. And has there been something going on there between Racete and Raiden? They're both off, or are they both just surrendering? They might get around for another lap. It's going to be very touchy. They need to get a move, and I don't think they're wanting to though. So they have thrown down the gauntlet really for their qualifying time. Wittmann on an outlap, he might just about make it for Buki, who's pushing for it to improve on his time. He gets a bit of a slipstream now, a bit of a tow from Foxy. Foxy punching that hole in the air. Is Fubuki going to make it all work though? Through this middle sector, such high speeds and super forming the cars, the Delari chassis, all the cars are the same in this. So it's all down on driver skills. Foxy seems to tap the barrier. He's a 10th up, but it's not enough to improve his position. 10 seconds remaining quality. Fubuki won't get another lap out of this. Will Wittmann get another lap? It's going to be very close if Wittmann can get another lap. And it's not. Wittmann does not get another lap. Quality is over. Wittmann has not been able, he's just missed out on a lap time there. But Fubuki is very much going for it. So what can he get this now? So Wittmann, the top 4 have given up. What can Fubuki do? Can he change that order around a bit in 5th place? Out of the final corner, where is he going to place himself? It's been a relatively decent run, didn't look too bad what we've seen of him, and across the line he goes 8 tenths quicker and a 36.1. Now some of the cars are in the pits, we don't exactly know whereabouts that is, but Nike goes even quicker at 35.6, and what a lap that was from Nike. Okay, completely under the radar, and they do change that order around. So Night Donner stays on the track. They're all going to back out into the pits to change tyres. Fubuki's starting on the mediums anyway. Lorenzi has gone quickest. I can't see what time he set because there it is. He won't show me what time he set. I'm not too sure what the grid's going to look like until everyone goes out onto the track. Those that changed into tyres are go past the first sector. Foxy very close ahead of Hobo Fraggins as Hubi comes round on those medium tyres. Night Donner on the medium tyres, Wittmann G on the mediums, and Racete on the mediums. Other cars, Hobo Fraggins on the softs. Foxy softs, Walter's soft, but I believe he'll be starting on the mediums. Luckman mediums, Fubuki softs, but again he'll look like he'll be starting on the medium tyre. Lorenzi did get on the front row, but Lorenzi is beaten up by Nike, so it is your front row is Raiden and Night Donner. Raiden in the pits, who in fact now Raiden's coming out of the pits for the mediums. So the medium seems to be the predominant tyre here, so I wonder if that's the general strategy to be used, because the top 4, top 5, top 6 I believe are all starting on the medium tyres. So it just seems to be the general strategy that the drivers are favouring is the medium tyres. They won't wear out too quickly and they're not as slow as the hards. They do need to use both tyres, but there is no mandate of using all 3. So as Raiden comes round to take the pole position, it is Night Donner in the front row. 3rd place Lorenzi, Hubi 4th, 5th place for Buki, Luckman P6, it's an all Northman 3rd row, Walter 7th, 8th place Foxy, Racete in fact is going to change the order around a bit because he hasn't actually got round to the end of the first sector, so it doesn't put him in his correct position right now. I'm just going to wait for that and I think we're all good. But yeah, majority of cars, medium tyres is the selected strategy. Segers putting him 7 to 6. Splitting the 2 Northmen cars, who are the championship leaders for teams. Wittmann down in 8th. He's really going to want to make up some results some positions here, because he feels like he's definitely out of the order and possibly able to score a podium as he coasting around the lap, not accelerating, just rolling. They see him rolling. Walter, Foxy and Hubba Fraggins line up at the back of the field. So then it is Raiden takes another pole position here in Maggiore. Race number 5 at the Autodromo Lago Maggiore. This should promise to be a cracking race. Raiden, pole position with Night Donner on the front row, a new person on the front row. Can he take the victory though? Can he take the fight to Raiden? I'm sure he's going to want to. Lorenzi 3rd and Ubi 4th, Fabuki 5th, Race 6th, Lukman 7th, Wittmann 8th. That's your top 8, and it's a very competitive top 8 at that. Here we go, ready to go racing, the engines rev. And we go green in Maggiore. It's a great start from Raiden off the pole. And Night Donner trying to immediately challenge him there. Lorenzi looks to fly through and he tries to snaking around. A lot of snaking around. Lorenzi's gone for the lead. He's gone straight with the lead and he's taken it. And now it's Night Donner. They snake themselves round. And there we go. Lorenzi getting a moment. Night Donner's round. Night Donner making a mistake. Plummeting down the order. But Lorenzi has gone from 3rd to 1st off the start. What a start it was from him. Fabuki doing well up into 4th place. Well, Race taking him to 5th. And this car's going a bit wide. Lukman has dropped all the way down to last and down in 11th place. He's yet another difficult start for Lukman as Hubi's holding around in 3rd place with Raiden, who has lost the lead to Lorenzi. Raiden and Lorenzi, they've gone at it recently, but what a start from Lorenzi to get into 3rd. Fabuki moving up into 4th as well. Tay getting on top of all this into 5th. Night Donner dropped from 2nd to 6th, and I'm sure there's going to be question marks over what happened there. Was there an incident with Lorenzi? It looks like they got very close snaking through that opening complex of corners. But Lukman down to 11th from 8th, making up the rear of the field with Hubba Fraggins in 10th, fighting on the edge of the points with Walter, but Walter defends that one relatively well. Off goes both of them. Walter and Herbo there have both gone off the track. And that is costing the positions. Foxy's round in 8th, and I think that might be Night Donner trying to make a position on Tay, and he does make the position on Race Day. Wittmann running very wide at the end of this opening lap, but here we go. Night Donner, he's now stuck behind Fabuki. Meanwhile, Raiden and Lorenzi continue to go wheel to wheel and racing for it, and it is Raiden who holds the lead now, ahead of Lorenzi at the end of the first lap. Hubi moves up into 3rd, 4th for Fabuki, but he's got Night Donner all over the back of him with Race Day in 5th place and 6th place is Wittmann G. 8th place for Foxy. He's doing well at the moment with Lukman trying to carve his way back up now with Walter in 10th and 11th for Fraggins. Those two are running very close to the back of the field. Hobo wanting to continue to score points, I'm sure. And now we've got Foxy just behind Wittmann. Wittmann really looks to be struggling this opening stint. Foxy on those soft tyres is really going to help with that as he sets a purple sector. I mean, it's lap 2, so it isn't surprising, but Hubi's ahead, and Lorenzi's round. He's made a mistake, and as Lorenzi dropping down the order as his car bumps across the grass. Lukman gets through now, and he's Walter close enough. No, he's not, but Lorenzi drops down the order. Fabuki's now into 3rd, and is chasing down the 2 Red Bulls, who lead this race now 1 and 2. Starting pole and 4th, they now go 1 and 2 with Fabuki chasing down Hubi now for just 6/10. He needs to close it down to get 2nd to get a chance fighting against his championship rival Raiden, and whoever wins this race will be leading the championship if it's one of Fabuki or Raiden. Fabuki only 5 points away, but you can see that drift off all too quickly now. So we've got Fabuki chasing down Hubi. In fact, Raiden has managed to pull out a bit of a gap, a 2-second gap over his teammate now, with Fabuki chasing him down just 6/10 now. Is this going to be close enough? We've got Night Donner in 4th place, 5th place, Race Day 6th, Wittmann G 7th, Foxy 8th place, Lukman, and in 9th place Lorenzi. These two have had a horrible start, and Lukman and Fabuki there are the first to pit. They've forced the hand of an undercut, and it's the soft tyres just 3 laps in, and he comes out with Lorenzi. That came very tight into turn 1. So Fabuki now out behind Lorenzi still, who's quite behind Lorenzi, who made a mistake of his own accord. That promotes some of the drivers up, and Night Donner back into 3rd, but now with Race Day and Wittmann Very close. We could see a very exciting race between this trio of cars. In the background we've got Lorenzi and Fabuki. Fabuki gets down the inside and Lorenzi into turn 5, and he makes the move stick and lies Fabuki ahead with Lorenzi in position 8. Luckman is down in 9th, so he's not too far behind. Here we go then. This is Fabuki in 7th, 6th place Foxy, Wittmann 5th. 4th is Race Day chasing down Maggiore, who's on the edge of the podium. It's a great start for the Red Bulls, who continue to run 1 and 2, but now Hubie knows that Maggiore is quick and that Maggiore is quickly chasing him down as they're farther away down. The whole field is still pretty close together, and that's with Fabuki in 7th chasing down Foxy, only 6 seconds away from the lead, and he's pitted in. So using those fresh softs compared to, I believe, the mediums that Raiden had started on, that is working to Fabuki's advantage. 6.6 seconds he needs to close that gap down, and I think it is going down. So crucially, is Fabuki about to undercut the entire field here? More importantly, he was battling Hubie before he came in. Does Raiden respond? No, he does not. What about Hubie? Does anyone respond to the fact that Fabuki stopped? He's gone a spanner in the works. Wittmann does. Wittmann does, but then Foxy continues on with Fabuki right over the back of him. 6.7 seconds is the gap. It comes down. Fabuki pulls to the inside. He's trying to get ahead of Foxy, and they very nearly touch there. Lorenzi gets out ahead of Wittmann, but Luckman is just behind Wittmann, so they nearly touch. Fabuki and Foxy getting very close to each other there. And Harbor Fraggins is also pitted in. Fabuki, a bit of contact trying to get on the exit out turn 4. Down the hill into turn 5 as we head onto the braking zone. Does Fabuki get into 5th? Yes, he does. And that is P5 for Fabuki, and Foxy drops a position. Not pitted, and against some really stiff opposition here if he wants to hold this position. Lorenzi hasn't pitted, down in 7th. Wittmann at 8th has stopped, so some very interesting racing going on here now as Maggiore has really closed that gap up down to Hubie. And look, there's Fabuki in the same shot as Hubie, who they were racing each other on track. Fabuki with a stop down already, and Hubie hasn't. Hubie is now within the same camera shot as Fabuki, so the undercut is very much a possibility for Fabuki to get up into 2nd. Will it be enough for Fabuki to get into 1st and challenge for this win? That's what I'm sure he's hoping is the desired result, the desired outcome out of all this. And now we've got Lorenzi and Wittmann getting nose to tail with each other as Wittmann comes all over the back of Lorenzi, who is in turn following Foxy into the final corner. Does Lorenzi go it down the inside final corner as Raiden pits? Lorenzi round the final corner, tries to sweep it up on the exit, and Foxy gets a little bit of contact. They go 3 wide briefly there, and now suddenly Wittmann's all over in contention to get ahead of Lorenzi still, and tries to hold out around the outside. And out of all this, there's Raiden and Maggiore coming out of the pits all at the same time as the 2 Stone Age Motorsport cars nearly touch. And fast Foxy getting around the outside into turn 2 on Wittmann, and he keeps it down the inside. Yes, he does. What a race this is turning out to be, but he's not quite got enough there. Holding it around the outside, runs slightly wide. Now he's under threat from Luckman. Raiden came out now ahead of Fabuki by 2 seconds, with Hubie in 3rd place, but Fabuki getting the purple 1st sector. There was almost tears as Maggiore, Lorenzi and Wittmann were all going side by side, or at least Lorenzi and Wittmann were, as Raiden and Maggiore was coming out of the pits. Here we go, this was Wittmann still on the back now, heading into out of turn 10, onto the back straight. DRS, overtake button, slipstream, and he makes the overtake, but Lorenzi might be coming back at him here, and he does not on this occasion. The warm mediums versus the fresher softs. There's only one winner there, but Lorenzi's not giving up. He's still going for it as Wittmann makes the move ahead and moves into 5th place. So Lorenzi chasing it down Wittmann G for that 5th place, which was taken from him on the run into turn 11. We've got Racer T and Luckman running very close to each other, but is this going to be Racer T getting ahead of Luckman and into P7? Luckman's been doing some pretty strong races, and Fabuki's in again. It's lap 5 laps in, and he's made 2 pit stops already, and Luckman follows in, and Foxy makes his first. A strong race from Foxy, a decent opening stint from them. as he goes on to the mediums, looking to go long now. Luckman and the softs, they stay on to set the mediums. Fabuki on the softs, and Lorenzi, who hasn't made a single stop. Fabuki, who's made 2 now, he's still all on the back of Lorenzi. Lorenzi runs very wide, and Lorenzi's race is really going downhill at the moment. It's now Fabuki goes chasing that gap down again. On the softs, I'm sure it's going to be pretty clear what's going on now, but the drivers that start on the mediums, they've all pit onto the softs. The likelihood is they're just going to go softs to the end. So that's Raiden, Hubi, Nightconnor, Wittmann and Fabuki, Luckman and Tay maybe might all just keep going softs. And speaking of Tay, he scores through turn 9 out onto the top there, cut the corner trying to get past. Lorenzi switches to the inside, does he? Sits in the slipstream. Is this going to be enough for the Walter car to get ahead in at 6? He makes it look like he is, and it is. Racer Tay slips down the inside and takes P6. Lorenzi just keeps falling backwards now, and next up is Luckman, who isn't too far behind, but Lorenzi's fighting for it. He's not giving up just yet. In fact, he's pushing him pretty much heading into these next couple of corners. Is this enough for Lorenzi to get into a position to make the overtake on Tay to get back into 6th? No, because now he's immensely under pressure from Luckman behind, so Lorenzi's race is really dropping down the order. Foxy in 9th place and 10th place, Walter in 11th for Hobble Fraggins as Wittmann comes in and Lorenzi makes his stop. That does promote Buki into 4th place and chasing down Nightconnor with Hubi, who has the fastest lap. With Racer Tay then in 6th and just behind Wittmann, but on those medium tyres compared to the softs, the same age softs that Luckman has, and Wittmann, who's got a lap younger softs, Racer Tay's going to really struggle to beat out these two in a straight fight. But we will see how he goes about doing as we watch him come into turn 5 now. This is into turn 5, out of turn 5 as he rises up the hill. It's all looking good at the moment between these two. For the battle for 2nd is getting a bit closer between Nightconnor and Hubi. Nightconnor takes the purple middle sector there, a purple 2nd sector from the whilst chasing down the man who has the purple lap time. Iata Hubi on the fastest lap at the moment with Nightconnor. P3, P4 is Fabuki back there, and in 5th place Wittmann G. The battle for 6 is getting interesting. Luckman tries to get him on the exit there. Tries to get around the outside. Does he swoop around the outside? It's going to be close. Goes side by side. What a move from Luckman. He threw everything at Race Day there. And it's not over yet. They're still side by side. They're still very close. But Luckman has the inside line. And what an overtake that was from Luckman. Incredible stuff there. Lorenzi now on the fresh softs as Raiden and Nightconnor both choose to make it way to the pit stops. Where does Fabuki come in relation to these two? Behind Raiden and Hubi, who are actually now very close together, but Fabuki gets up back ahead of Nightconnor, who has now got fresher softs. His teammates got 1 lap older softs. Luckman, who has done an incredible move, and Lorenzi's actually managed to get his way ahead. And Luckman made a mistake. Mistake from Luckman costed him 6th place. From that positioner, error coming out of turn 2 looks to have cost him 6. He drops back down to 7th there to race 2. What a race we have in store as Hubi now immediately losing time. Fabuki looks like he can split the 2 Red Bulls as he gets ahead of Nightconnor. We're approaching the halfway point as we watch them go through the S section. But this battle for 5th is getting interesting. This battle for 3rd turn that we've got there, where we've got Lorenzi chasing that battle down with Luckman chasing Lorenzi down. But there we go, we got Wittmann chasing down his teammates and Fabuki for that final podium spot as it stands, and it looks like Hubi might be thrown back into the mix when it comes to Hubi making a 2nd pit stop, which is going out longer than his teammate, who is surely now in the set of softs, and yep, surely going for the fastest lap, who is very close to the fastest lap of his teammate there, and in fact 37.3, 37.5. In fact, Fabuki is lapping slower despite that tyre advantage you would think he'd have. As Nightconnor to get down the inside into the final corner, Nightconnor's gone for it. For 3rd place, Nightconnor goes for the move, and he makes it stick there. Now Hubi drops down the order as he comes into the pits behind these lot, and he's going to want to try and come back at them as Fabuki tries to send it back down the inside, and Nightconnor holding it around the outside. He's come out directly behind this lot, so it's now a 4-car battle for 2nd, and you bet they're not going to give up on this. So it is now to Stone Age Motorsport. Ninth Donner second. Fabuki third. Fourth place Wittmann running a slight bit wide. And in fifth place is Hubie. Ninth Donner returning to second, where it was looking like he would have stayed there. Lorenzi's down in sixth place in a bit of no man's land of these two. In eighth place is Foxy. Tane must have stopped now, realising those mediums ain't working for him. He pits himself onto a set of softs, matching that of the leaders. Tate's teammate Walter continues to go on, having possibly stopped, but I'm not sure. And Robert Frank has definitely stopped at some point. He's already used a lot of his overtake button at the back there. Ninth Donner has pulled away, and in fact they're almost going 3 wide into turn 11. There they go then, and it gets very tight 3 into 1. It does usually go, there's a bit of contact. And Fabuki's that big loser there. That's Hubie and Wittmann, and Hubie tries to hold down on the outside, switches to the inside, switches to the outside yet again, but then again switches to the inside. Wittmann in third, he's holding off Hubie, and what a move. What a race we're seeing as Hubie sends it to the inside, and he does get down the inside. Does he keep the position? We're about to find out if Wittmann can have it on the end there, and he does indeed, and there we go. Wittmann G losing the position now to Hubie. Raiden then, he's pitting in and he's off those soft tyres yet again. This is a fuel stop as well, as does Fabuki, matching him on this occasion, and Wittmann G pitting in. So Ninth Donner now leads Hubie as Raiden comes out the pit to third. Fourth place there's Lorenzi, interestingly getting ahead of Wittmann G, with Fabuki dropping behind Wittmann. So they're all now on the same level of tyres, as Lorenzi's dropping back drastically now in the order in this battle. It's going to be very difficult for him to find out if he can fight for this one, and that battle is most certainly on. Raiden, he looks comfortable at the moment, but he has looked comfortable in the last couple of races, so it'll be interesting to see if he'll make similar mistakes as Fabuki goes to the inside. To the inside goes Fabuki. That's not enough. Here we go then. Powers it up the corner. Is this going to be enough for Fabuki to get down the inside? Here he comes, P6. And that's enough. And now Wittmann's having to go side by side with Lorenzi's. They get bunched up very much now as Wittmann to the inside of Lorenzi, covering off Fabuki. That's not enough. And this is about to be 3 wide. Lorenzi pulls massively defensively, slices in that gap between Fabuki and Wittmann perfectly there. Fabuki pulls to the inside. Lorenzi pulls to the inside. And they touch. They do touch into turn 11. But it looks like there's no tears, no drama on this one. Fabuki ahead, but not for much longer as Lorenzi sends it back down the inside. And now we've got Fabuki all over the back of Lorenzi on the exit there. He's trying everything to get ahead of Lorenzi. It didn't quite work on that occasion. There was a bit of contact as Lorenzi runs slightly across the curve there. And here we go now, they're getting very close. Fabuki to get to the inside. Is this going to be enough for Fabuki to go around the inside? Round the inside. Which way is he going to go? And he follows him around the final corner, runs a bit wide, and powers it on the exit as Lorenzi pits. And so does Hubie, who comes out the pits behind Ninth Donner, who still leads. But where is this battle for third developing? There's Wittmann, and there is Fabuki now, who runs slightly deep into turn 1. So there's Luckman coming out the pits now in P6. And Racer 2's gotten ahead of Lorenzi now out of all this. Walter pits in as well. Whew, let's just breathe for a minute on that one, but what a race we're having there. So Ninth Donner does lead, but Raiden is quickly closing him in, although compared to the last lap time, 36.3 compared to a 36.8, wasn't too far slower, whereas you have to Hubie's on lap times, can't really compare because he's just about the pits, 36.6, 36.3 and a 36.8, so Wittmann only 2 tenths quicker than the race leader. What about Fabuki at 37.5? He seems off the pace slightly, and it's just seeming like a bit of an off day here as Lorenzi's come out ahead of Race Tay there now, and he has managed to get back past him on this occasion, dropping Tay down to 8th place. I'm sure he'll be hoping for a lot more out of this race than what he's getting right now. But Ninth Donner's looking like he's quite competitive round here. 36.8, he's looking pretty strong right now, but can it be enough to challenge Raiden? What about Hubie? Can he get close enough to really put a dent in Raiden's day and see if he can affect that race win and maybe cost Raiden from winning it again? He's only won once as Ninth Donner chooses now to pit in. You gotta remember, Raiden has only won once this season. He won in it wasn't Suzuka, it was the second race he won in Willow Springs, and just hasn't tasted the top step of the podium since then or on any other occasion. And now here we go though. Is it going to be ahead of Hubin? In fact, in the last race, Raiden didn't even score a podium. He finished 4th. He's finished at least once on all the top 4 positions in this race that are, well, possibly he's finished 1st, he's finished 2nd before, he's finished 3rd, and as of Willow Springs he finished 4th. But is it going to be a win, a 2nd win this season for Raiden, who is suddenly under pressure from his teammate? Hubi is suddenly really going for it, and he's only a 2nd back. In fact, he's just less down a 2nd behind. In fact, I got just teeters over the 1 second mark now. But it's very close between these two. They're not that far apart, so we could see an inter-team battle going on here between Hubie and Raiden. Hubie's got a lot more overtake left a lot more overtake used, but he's really gaining on some of these straights here. And that is very interesting. But Hubie is actually gaining 9 tenths. He's getting very much closer. He is lapping quicker at the moment. A 35.2 was his last lap, but I think he's just come out of pits. This will be the first representative time, as Raiden sets a 36 dead. The fastest lap is Wittmann with a 35.7, but 8 tenths, and it looks to be getting closer. 6 tenths. Hubie's getting closer and closer, and Raiden pits. Raiden does bail out of that battle to prevent any travesties between them two, and so Hubie does go on to lead this race, for Buki moving up in 2nd, but he's immediately pressured by Night Donner, who comes to the inside into pit for P3, and it is, as Night Donner gets down the inside, gets a bit of a moment out to turn 1. They go very close indeed, and suddenly Night Donner trying to get around the outside of Fubuki. He's trying to get past him there, and that's not enough. But now Raiden has the fresher tyres. Now the sensible thing to do for Hubie would be to pit on this lap. As here we go, we've got Fubuki still being chased down by Night Donner. Night Donner puts to the inside into turn 5, under braking. Has he done it? Almost, but Fubuki holds it around the outside. Fubuki steps just one too many out wide, and that has allowed Night Donner through into 3rd. And he's continuing to chase down the leaders here, the 2 Red Bulls. They've really looked in control of this race for all 13 laps. There's Fubuki in 4th place, 5th place Wittmann, 6th place Luckman, 7th Lorenzi, and in 8th place is Foxy now, as Tay must have pitted, and he's going to the end on those mediums, down behind his teammate there at the back. It's been a bit of a disappointing day for Race Tay, as we've got Fubuki chasing down Night Donner, who's been chased down by Wittmann, and there's Luckman there, so we've got Stone Age Motorsport, Northman, Stone Age Motorsport, Northman, and the 2 Red Bulls leading the way. So a very interesting battle, but they have spaced themselves out a bit. Does Hubie come into the pits? That would be the sensible decision, and he does. Into the pits then comes Hubie, and off those tyres. How far behind Raiden will he go, and how much will he close up? In fact, he might come out behind Night Donner, as Hubie comes out onto the track now. Fubuki also comes into the pits. Is he out ahead of Night Donner? He is not, because Night Donner comes into the first corner now. So there's Hubie now chasing Night Donner. Wittmann up there as well. Lorenzi moving up as Lundman, and Fubuki again pitting. I wonder when they'll decide they're going to the end of the race. And I can't look away. I go, there we go, we sorted it out. So we've got Night Donner, who is on slightly older tyres to Raiden, and now Hubie's got the freshest tyres out of the top 3, in fact out of the top 5 he has. So Hubie will, you'd think, be lapping the quickest now, and I think that's going to be the case, as that gap immediately starts to come down. 5 laps to go in what's been a cracking Maggiore race, and we still do not know who is going to come out on top in the victory. Hubie needs to get as close to Raiden as possible, so should Raiden choose to make yet another stop, he comes out just as far ahead, and that is going to be the question here. Will that be able to be done? As we've got Wittmann, who is actually chasing down Hubie now, and actually that gap is going down between them two. So Wittmann is looking really strong at the moment between them, between Wittmann and between Hubie. And there we go, this is Walter being chased down by Race Tay for that 9th place. And I'm not sure if there'll be any team orders right now as to how this will play out between the 2 Walte cars. The team that will need a bit of team order is the Red Bulls. They've been leading and they want to keep leading this race. That gap has come down between Hubie and Raiden as Hubie continues to lap impressive pace right now. Obviously we can't really compare him up because he's not exactly done a lap that hasn't been affected by the pit stop as Lorenzi comes in then, but Hubi is just 7 tenths away from Nike Donna. Raiden at 36.1 on that lap, Nike Donna at 37.1, so Nike Donna is a whole 1 second slower than Raiden. But here comes Hubi as he chases down Nike Donna for this race. And is this enough for Hubi to be chasing down Nike Donna? And here we go then. 3 attempts, he's getting closer through this section. Turn 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So easy. Here we go then, Hubi trying to get the exit. 3 attempts back, now as he comes closer, 2 attempts back. Here comes Hubi, he uses his overtake, he pulls to the inside, and he goes to the inside under braking, getting slowed down. And Hubi is ahead, he waited for the moment to come down around a bit across the gravel there, and that puts Hubi into second, who continues to chase down a 5.2 second gap between him and his teammate. And speaking of teammates, we've got Stone Age Motorsport suddenly fighting for third between Wittmann and Nike Donna, and they're really trying to close that championship gap between them and the Red Bull team, and from Northmen actually lead the championship as Nike Donna runs a little bit across the track there. And now suddenly Wittmann's got to fight through, and Wittmann is let through by Nike Donna, who picks up a penalty, and Raiden is in the pits, possibly for one final time. Nike Donna follows Raiden's decision, and now Hubi and Raiden, here we go close, but Hubi just about sneaks his way ahead now, ahead of Raiden. And now Wittmann is very much in this fight to win. Is he going to go for it though on the Red Bulls? We've got to have the 2 Red Bulls and Wittmann G fighting for the win. With Raiden on those fresher tyres, it wouldn't be too far-fetched to say that it will be Raiden that will win this race. It'll be interesting to see if Hubi can hold him up here, or maybe even if Wittmann can cause an upset and get ahead of Raiden. That's going to be Wittmann's task as race team makes it another pit stop. That's going to be Wittmann's aim, is to try and get close enough to Raiden, but he's already losing out to him. Nike Donna is going to have Fubuki and Lorenzi chasing down his neck, however he's got the fresh softs, and so he's going to be battling it out for that one. Hubi now has got 3 laps to hold on against Raiden. Easier said than done. Meanwhile in the background we've got this battle for 8th place. Foxy, 9th place, Race Terry pitted in for softs, and Walter I believe was also pitted in recently. I think at some point on the softs, or at least it's doing a 1 stop for Walter. But there you go. That is what's happening on the race today. Hubi leading Raiden out, and here we go. Is this going to happen? Is this going to happen now between these two? How will they race? Will there be a collision? What will the Red Bull pit wall be thinking? Or will Hubi make his way into the pits? I wouldn't count that out as an option as to what's going to happen. Does Hubi choose to pit in? He does not. A rather aggressive tyre strategy from Raiden. Wittmann G does choose to pit in, so that's going to put the tyre pressures onto Hubi and Raiden then, because now Wittmann's going to have the faster tyres. He drops obviously down the order and stopping the car, and the standstill time puts him out just behind his teammate. So we've got 2 teammate battles between Hubi and Raiden, Nike Donna and Wittmann for 1st, 2nd, 3rd and 4th. We've got Fubuki who's just about ahead of Lorenzi, and Lutman who's managed to move his way into 7th place. But Raiden, he's not close enough on this occasion. On the penultimate lap, just 2 laps between Hubi and Raiden to go dueling for it now. Wheel to wheel, and here comes Raiden on the exit. Does he look to have a move there done? No, he does not. What does Raiden do? He's got to think the championship. He is championship leader. His closest rivals down in 5th place. Will that affect the team orders, or will Hubi want to just go for it? It'll be very interesting to see now. Here comes Raiden on the back of Hubi as far as overtake goes. Fubuki, Hubi has considerably less lap times, a 37.6 versus a 38.2, so surprisingly Hubi was actually quicker on the previous lap. What are they doing on this lap? That's the question. His battle for the lead looks like it's going to go down to the last race, and Hubi versus Raiden, and it's not enough. Raiden's not close enough, just a 10th back. He's getting very close to the back of his teammate there, and he's almost on the verge of going for the overtake. I don't think it's enough for this occasion. Meanwhile, these two are actually closing in on them. so they need to hurry up and decide if anything's going to happen at all. But Hooby gets a brilliant launch out of the final corner, onto the final lap. Hooby leads Raiden, with Maggiore and Wittmann in third. The top four could very much change on this final lap. Can Hooby hold on to win against Raiden, the championship leader and double world champion? Raiden, who's looked in control of much of this race, he might have just been outdone by his teammate here, unless of course Raiden can get past on this final lap. With Maggiore quickly closing in, he's going to want to hope to do so. And here we go then, is this going to be the move into turn 5? They'll be running out of every second he waits behind him. He runs out of time to get past. And out of turn 5, the only two remaining opportunities to get past are probably turn 11 and the final corner, but Hooby will catch wise to this. He needs to get the run out of the S section. It's very tense, and I'm sure you're all on the edge of the seat just as I am, because here we go, Hooby, as he's not got the run on his teammate. Raiden looks like the run here. Hooby, does he move defensively? Not quite. Yes, he does. Hooby goes slightly to defend, and Raiden doesn't quite get ahead into turn 11. That is one of the key overtaking spots. And so, but Raiden gets the drive in the exit, and they're about to go side by side here for the S. And is it going to be enough? Yes, it is for Raiden. No, it's not quite enough. And it's not quite enough. Hooby still remains in the lead of this race. Don't take each other out in the final lap. Raiden tries to go around the outside. Around the outside goes Raiden. Hooby slams that one shut and says, no, not today. I'm not getting on. And he goes on the grass. Raiden goes on the grass. And he might have just cost him a podium. He's dropped down to 4th. And on the final lap, Hooby wins a spectacular race here in Maggiore. Well done, Hooby. Knocked on a third Wittmann. 4th place Raiden. He's going to be very disappointed with that one. For Pookie, 5th place Lorenzi, P6, 7th place Luckman, 8th place Racer Tay, 9th place Foxy, and in P10 is Walter. 11th place out the points yet again over Frankins, but unbelievable, yet another race that has gone down to the wire, and on this occasion Raiden still hasn't been able to add a second victory to his name this season, but that could be very controversial between the two Red Bull teammates should they have done something knowing that Raiden was the championship leader. That very nearly could have taken them both out as well. What a spectacular race though we had in the end, and my throat is going sore with this. Whew. Well, that race happened. There is your official results then. Hooby winning over Maggiore and Wittmann is your top 3, but what a race. What a race. Winning 3 positions from 4th to 1st, and a great drive from the man that's meant to be subbing one of the other drivers, Ruti. Whew. Now we begin with the usual interviews. So let's just invite our top 3, which was Maggiore, Hooby, and not Raiden again, but Wittmann G. It's really not going well for Raiden as of late. The last 2 races, it's easy to say hello. Hello. Oh, you remembered this time.
I remembered, yeah.
I said, I was playing on Maggiore. Any ideas if Maggiore will be joining us, or?
I'm not sure, he was in the chat with us, but...
Anyway, let's we'll just crack on with it then. Hooby, well done on the win.
Yeah, cheers man.
So what was that race like from your perspective?
Well, I was going into this with not much clue of the strategy, so I was just hoping for the best. And yeah, I think that's about it to the end. It was a good place with Raiden at the end for
That was tense, that. Well, glad you mentioned that battle with Raiden at the end there, because what happened on those final sector between you two? What do you think happened in the cockpit then?
Yeah, it's hard to see because we were doing this side by side. I tried to leave some room, but Williams gave me this pretty himself mixing up. So I'm not sure about that. Apart from doing the tires, of course, the tires.
And Wittmann on the podium again, but yet again, you were also racing your teammate in that one. What was that race like for you? I think you two were actually catching up to the Red Bulls at the end. The gap was just going down across that final lap.
Yeah, I could see we were closing in. I just couldn't get the
But yeah, yet again, Raiden is not having the best of seasons. It's fair to say. I mean, so 3 races in a row now he could have won, and it's gone wrong somewhere. And in fact, Raiden, he's getting better, and in fact, it's like 5 races, and Raiden's only won 1. Raiden is not the majority winner for once. It's bizarre. Anyway, next race is Spa. So, what are your thoughts going into that one? Obviously, Hubie, you're on the sub, so I mean, I'm not sure if you'll be racing. But Wittmann, what about you? What are your thoughts heading into Spa?
I can't wait for Spa, to be honest. I had a little practice in this before the last weekend.
There could be rain. I might talk to the weather gods about that one, but
that could change.
Yeah. All in all, great race again, and thank you everyone. Well, I hope to see you again some other time, Hubie, but on that we shall end the stream here. Thanks for watching, and yet another great race. Like I said, next week is Spa, so you want to join in for that one, because I don't think most of the people know how to do the track. But yeah. And goodbye stream.